Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you're all doing good today. Apologies for any sniffling or coughing that goes on in this video. I am a little bit ill still. But I'm working over the next couple of days, so I thought I'd try and sneak in one more video for you guys before I disappear for a few days. And what better way to, end the week of videos with the mighty Dowie. So we are going to be the Dwarfs led by Thorgrim Grudgebearer up against the Lizardmen. Let's have a little look at our army now. So we've gone for quite a small build here, taking this height advantage here, going for the high ground. And in the front line, we do have a unit of Ironbreakers. These guys are super tanky, with a ridiculous 68 melee defense and 125 armor. There you go, cheering on the front line there, this mighty Ironbreaker. These guys are rock solid. They just take so much damage in a great frontline troop, although they are quite expensive. Now I do have a unit of Longbeards as well alongside them, and in the back, guarding the flanks, I have two units of Hammerers. These guys are chevroned up a little bit, and these guys will make absolute mincemeat of most Lizardmen infantry. They trade probably fairly effectively as well up against Temple Guard. I'm not sure who wins that in a straight one-to-one fight, however. Now in the middle, I do have a unit of Slayers, and in the back, a unit of Giant Slayers with their big old two-handed battle axes right here. These guys are going to be really important for protecting this small formation, running back and forth, protecting the flanks and trying to shut down any cavalry or big dinosaurs the Lizardmen can build. In the back I do have two units of cannons who are just about firing off their first salvo of missiles there. And for the leadership, of course, I have the mighty Thorgrim Grudgebearer, who is the Dwarf King. I think this is my first time ever using him. He's got a load of awesome buffs with him. So he does have the Oath of Vengeance, which is minus 27 melee defense on an enemy I pick. He also has the Great Book of Grudges, which if you have a little look here, actually covers a huge amount of ground. If I can find it again, there it is. Every dwarf within that range gets plus 9 melee attack, which is a huge bonus. He also has the High King rule, so he's here with all his buffs, and he's accompanied by two runesmiths who have every rune under the stars. They all have... Oh, pop over from there. Both of them have Rune of Negation, Rune of Wrath and Ruin, Rune of Open Steel, and Forge Fire gives that 10% armor piercing damage, which can be quite useful against, these super tanky Lizardmen. So if we look at my opponent's army here, he does have two units of Chameleon Skinks. These guys, I haven't managed to notice them yet. They're super sneaky. They have a huge amount of damage resistance from missile fire. Let's have a little look. 40%, a great harass unit. Now on the left-hand flank, he does have a small, cav contingent trying to get into those back lines. He's got two units of Cold One Riders with a chevron, and they're going to be led by Krokgar up on his horned one here, looking incredibly badass. It looks like he doesn't have the hand of the old ones, even though his model does there. It looks very cool, but he does have all his other buffs. Now for the front line, he's gone for a very small elite force. He does have the Star Chamber Guardians on this flank, the Regiment Renowned Temple Guard, super badass unit who also have the Guardian ability. On the other flank he has a unit of Temple Guard, and in the centre 2 units of Saurus Warriors. Now he's gone for very interesting picks in the back here. He does have the Bastiladon with the Revivification Crystal, is a build, unit I quite like taking myself, especially when you have other big entities. But he's also gone for 2 units of Bastiladons with the Solar Engine, so these are moving artillery pieces. And thinking about it, they're actually going to be pretty good against the Dwarfs. Dwarfs can't move out the way very fast. They tend to be fairly tight, compacted formations. So these guys could do a huge amount of damage. We'll have to have a little look and see. So let's get this battle underway. So it looks like we have switched our cannon fire over onto these cold ones. And it's always a good thing if you can hit units down the flank or more at these kind of angles rather than head on. So you do tend to be able to hit a few more units. And as you can see, we have left a few dead cold ones in the dirt. Now we're obviously taking a defensive formation, using the high ground to give our cannons better line of fire, and Dwarfs, to be honest, have to be more of a reaction kind of army. You can't normally push forward, and drive and force your opponent to make mistakes. You have to let them come to you and then, base your battle plans kind of off that. So we do have the Slayers who have popped back just to guard this flank from all this cavalry that's coming down the sides. And over here, I've found a great way to deal with Chameleon Skinks, actually with the satchel charges of Miners or Ironbreakers. They do a lot of damage to these expensive units, which are lightly armoured. As you can see, these guys are already starting to... You've lost over a quarter health there, getting down to half health, and these guys just have to stand there to do it. Opponent does try and get in the flank a little bit, hitting these hammers for a little bit of damage. However, they do take a little bit of damage in return, and these Slayers and Hammers manage to fend them off before running back into formation. But it looks like they're about to come back again. The giant slayers do react, hop onto Kroq-Gar, and these hammers and slayers charge headlong into these cold ones to face them toe to toe. The glorious big old ginger mohawks here. These guys are anti-large, perfect for taking down these cold ones. They should start dragging them down. I do pop a rune of Wrath and Rune on these guys to do a bit of damage, but also to slow them down to allow these slayers to get in a few extra hits. Looks like the front lines are about to engage, and the runesmith has started to pop all his buffs to these mighty Dowie warriors. They charge into the fray. So in the front we have the Longbeard. Apologies for that coughing there. Who are going to be charging into the front, assisted by these runesmiths and Thorgrim himself. They are being 2-on-1, so these hammers are charging down the hill, and they're making mincemeat of these Saurus warriors. Over on the right hand flank we do have the Ironbreakers. They're up against pretty tough opposition here. The Temple Guard. These guys should be able to hold the line for an infinite amount of time. It's going to be a very grindy fight there. The left hand flank, the Star Chamber Goblins have had the Over Vengeance pop from them. They're currently being 2-on-1s with these hammerers and these slayers that they're running back into the face. Now, opponent done a great job though of constantly harassing the back line. They have just managed to get Kroq-Gar onto this cannon crew. However, the giant slayers once again chase down this big bad guy, and they're going to slowly hack him down. And he needs to get out of here because he will be dragged down very quickly by giant slayers. Opponent is constantly cycle charging these cold ones. However, they are charging into slayers, and they get a great rear charge hit into the hammerers. The dwarves are very resilient, and with these slayers in here, these cold ones do not want to hang around. It looks like the cannons have managed to shoot off one Bastardon solar engine, which does in fact go down. They'll soon be retargeting to the second one. Chameleon Skinks have popped onto the second cannon. However, it is in guard mode, so it's just going to constantly keep firing. And they stand there for a long time. These Chameleon Skinks aren't the best in combat. Kroq-Gar has popped into the back of these Ironbreakers to try and help break this right hand flank and get into the back lines. However, these guys are just super tanky, and they're just going to stand their ground and fight to the death. Looks like we're doing a number over that Bastardon in the background. And the back line, this cannon's still fully functional, and the left hand flank here looks like it's going to be won by us. The Star Chamber Guardians have been fighting bravely. They are being dragged down by these hammers who have gone up a chevron, and these giant slayers. More buffs are going down in the centre here. The Revivification Crystal has popped into our front line here. With all these buffs and Thorgrim, who's actually a really decent combatant himself, being carried into battle, and this giant gold throne here is going to fend off this Bastardon. It looks like most of the centre pocket has been won. These Saurus are just about to break. We still have the cannon doing this constant fire into the back. The left hand flank is also going incredibly well, and it's just this right flank we have to worry about. The Slayers, who did fend off the Chameleons, decide to leave them alone. They're just going to get slowed down by the poison, never really be able to catch them. Instead, they're going to try and crush this last bit of resistance here. The good old rear charge into these Temple Guard are currently being picked apart by Ironbreakers, Thorgrim, and these Longbeards who run into the face. It looks like with that, we've managed to break and shatter the enemy army, so a close victory there for the Dwarfs. Let's go to the end stats. So overall, it looks like the Dwarf geometry worked pretty nicely there. So the front line managed to hold with these very tough Longbeards and Ironbreakers who just held constantly for ages. And these hammers really did a big number there. 58 and 57 kills on these elite units is very good going, especially considering one of them was up against the Star Chamber Guardians pretty much for the entire fight. Now I really do actually like the Bastardon solar engine pick. I didn't really think about this, and if I hadn't have brought cannons, these guys could have done a ton of damage. But luckily, managing to keep my backline protected with these slayers really allowed these cannons just to deal with these big dinosaurs in the back line, while Thorgrim and the runesmiths just buffed up this quite elite dwarf army, which allowed us to crush all these lizardmen. Well played there to Bother a Badger. Hope to meet you again on ladder sometime soon. Nice list overall. Played very decently as well. I like his constant cycle charging with the cold ones, and again, as I said before, I like these guys as a pick. Just a bit unfortunate for him, he does get countered by the cannons. So hope you guys enjoyed this Dowie victory. If you did, do leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that type of good stuff. And on the 19th, which is this Wednesday coming up, we do have our first ever live stream, and it's going to be for the Death Before Dishonor tournament. We have all our competitors locked in by the looks of it, so hope to see you guys there. It's going to be 8 PM standard British time. Peace, guys. See you soon.